Welcome back, trainers. So I'm feeling a little bit risky, and I'm going to be transferring 100% Ivy Pokemon into Pokemon Let's Go, just to see if it will transfer completely. So let me tell you right now, it does work, folks, but there is several steps that you need to take to make sure you get the most out of this, because I'm going to let you know right now, guys, I messed up several 100s. Yeah. Very, very sad last night. I couldn't tell you how emotional it was on how I messed up several times my 100 Pokemon. So, yeah, I'm going to show you how you can perfect it. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, what are you doing, Poke? Why would you even think about transferring a 100% IV from your Pokemon Go to Let's Go? Why? What's the point of that? Well, my friends, let me explain to you very thoroughly why I am doing such an absurd thing. It's not that absurd, to be honest, though. So, I have a full team of Machamps powered up. I'm certainly not going to, max out a 100 Machamp again after I have a full 6 team. What would be the point of that, right? And not only that, but after the CP rework, I'm not too sure if you're aware of this, but IVs in Pokemon Go very, very minuscule between a 100 and a 0. There's going to be a difference, and obviously the performance for the 100 is going to be doing better than the 0, but now that the CP rework has happened and taken place, IVs are very, very, very minuscule in Pokemon Go. So that is going to lead me up to transferring some of my 100s into Pokemon Let's Go for competitive gameplay. Now, there is the steps that I was discussing that I'm going to go over with you to make sure you perfect it. And at this point, you're thinking, well, it's 100. What else do you need to do? Transfer it and catch it. You should be good, right? Not exactly. So in Pokemon Go, we have no speed stat, correct? So what is going on here is when you transfer a, let's say, 100 into Pokemon Let's Go, all of the stats are going to be the best. They're going to be maxed out, the IVs, correct? But the speed is going to be randomized. So there's going to be a little trick. This was actually found out by Elegantly. We were playing Let's Go last night, and basically when you put your Pokemon from Pokemon Go into Pokemon Let's Go into the park, and you go in there to catch it, what you're going to want to do is catch it, all right, and then go back out. But make sure you do not save, because if you back out, it will ask you to save. There's a save option, and then when you say go back into the lobby, it'll ask you to, do you want to save? And say no, because it will ruin everything. Say the speed stat became horrible in that 100. So what you're going to do is you're going to go out, and then you're going to check it. After you've checked it, if it's great, the speed stat, then you're just simply going to save it. Make sure you also had talked to the lady in Celadon City to make sure you have the correct nature set. Okay, so if you didn't watch the nature video that I was talking about, go ahead and check out my last one. So also these Pokemon are going to be used for competitive play as well. That's why I'm transferring them over, because we don't have any PvP in Pokemon Go currently, and there's actual strategy involved. Now we're going to be talking about, say you accidentally save it, 100, you transfer it over, and the speed stat wasn't the best. You're stuck with a horrible IV speed stat, and your 100% used to be 100%. Well, what can you do to fix that? Well, I'm going to show you. If you've already completed the SSN, what you're going to do is go to Vermilion City, all right? And basically just go to the SSN docks, okay? Head over there, and you're going to see this lady right here, staring off into the ocean. So what you're going to want to do is battle her. What she's going to do is when you beat her, she's going to give you something called a bottle cap, which is going to actually help you raise an IV, one IV point of a single Pokemon. Now, you can only get these bottle caps one a day from her. So it is a very tedious grind to get it. But then again, at the end of the day, these are IVs that we're talking about. Now, there is a golden bottle cap that will raise all stats, but there is none currently in the game. Literally, maybe through a mystery gift or something like that. But the only way to do it right now is battle this chick right here once a day to receive one battle cap. Now, once you receive the bottle cap, what are you thinking? You should just give it to your Pokemon? No. There's a specific guy at the daycare that you will be able to talk to after you've beaten the Pokemon League and the champion, and then you have become the champion yourself. And then once that has taken place and your Pokemon in question that you want to raise the IVs of has become level 100, then and only then will you be able to raise those IVs. But there is still hope. The only other question that you should have about your Pokemon is, does it have the correct nature? You don't want to invest in something that's just whack. Now, the guy at the daycare, here he is. Simply talk to him after you've beaten the Pokemon League and you have some bottle caps also with the Pokemon that you want to bring up the IVs being at level 100, okay? So I hope that wasn't too confusing for a lot of veteran players. That was very simplistic. You understand what's really going on here, and it's not difficult at all. This game, the more I play it, I see why a lot of you guys are saying it's catered to casuals. Yeah, it is very, very simplistic, but I already know what they're trying to do here. They're just introducing new players to Pokemon and kind of getting them into the routine of how it really works, I suppose. So anyways, about the effort value. Now, those are another stat in a Pokemon that you can bring up. Simply feed them these candies, and you get these by catching Pokemon and transferring them to the professor. Simple as that. It just takes time. You don't have to worry about resetting it because all of the EV values just can all be maxed out in this game. So there's no like, oh, I have to battle this Pokemon specifically to make sure this EV goes up or do this thing. Just do whatever you need to do and eventually they'll become maxed out. As simple as that. The only thing you really, really need to worry about are the natures, because you cannot, as far as I know, change the nature of a Pokemon once you have had it caught, okay? You can totally change them beforehand. Remember what we were talking about? Celadon City. Go talk to that trainer at the back of the Pokestop. I don't know why I keep calling them Pokestops. Poke Center. Too much Pokemon Go. And you will be able to change the natures. Now, I will leave a sheet up here as to which colors go to what specific stat. And make sure you do it correctly. She will ask you to bring one up first, and then after she asks you that, she will ask you which stat do you want to bring down. Make sure you pick the right one, and yeah, that's all you really need to do. Once you have that set, then you can catch Pokemon anywhere in the game, and they will have that nature, not just the Pokemon Park. I'm going to specifically the Pokemon Park because, well, that's just where I'm catching my 100s, right? Anyways, about saving it. So when you're done catching your Pokemon, and you want to go check and see if the speed is good, right? Like we were discussing, because the speed stat doesn't stay great, it's just randomized. Make sure you do not save it when you exit out of the park, okay? Because it's going to ask you that. So return to front desk, and then it's going to ask you to save. Don't do that, because that is going to be your biggest mistake. And guess what I did to my 100 Gengar? I saved it, and its speed was horrible. Luckily, I can hyper train with bottle caps, and that's what it's called, hyper training, and I will be able to set it right. But I don't know, I think it's sitting at like 18 IVs in speed or maybe less, so it's going to take quite a few days on top of the other Pokemon I need to bottle cap train. So check it out, and here's the golden mistake. Doesn't that look amazing? Look at that Machamp. Best means that is maxed out. It's 31. Fantastic means 30. Okay, the max IVs that you can have in each individual stat is going to be 31. But can you see the mistake that I made? Not just a little mistake, but the most horrifying, horrific, utterly just repulsive mistake. And that was, I did not set the nature. So I was assuming that the nature that I picked from last night was going to carry over because, well, it did it yesterday. But guess what? It didn't do it today. And I wasn't paying attention. All I was looking at was that beautiful stat pie that just showed everything completely maxed out except for the speed at 30. And I saved it. Yeah. So rest in peace, 100% IV Machamp that I transferred. I mean, it's not horrible. Nothing is down. Every stat is even and nothing's lifted or brung down. But it still could have been a lot better. Adamant stat. That's what I was going for. Same with this muck. Look at the stats. Look at how beautiful it is. And just to let you know, dark types, there is no dark type in Pokemon Let's Go for the Kanto, other than this right here. You're looking at it. So if you want a good dark type, Alola Muck is where you're going to want to go. This was a 100, and I royally screwed up yet again. Just look at that. So I was going to go for Adamant. I thought it was set for Adamant, and that's what you would probably want in Alolan Muck. Attack up and special attack down. But guess what? At least I got attack up. The speed is down. So it was at a random nature. Obviously, I didn't go set it. I was assuming it was already done. Now, finishing up here, this is my 100% IV Gengar that I maxed out in Pokemon Go. Yeah, I transferred it, and I accidentally pushed save before I check the speed stat. So as you can see, that's something you do not want to do, because look at that. If I kept restarting, thanks to Elegantly for showing me that trick, then I would have been able to eventually get that speed all the way down to best, like you've seen with the Alolan Muck and the Machamp. So I hope that helped you a little bit to understand the IVs and how to bring over your perfect 100% IV Pokemon from Pokemon Go to Let's Go, and to hopefully not mess them up like I did. And if you're thinking to yourself, Poke, why in the world would you transfer your 100 Gengar that you maxed out? Well, it didn't have Shadow Claw, it didn't have Lick. Okay? Yes, Megas are going to come out one day, but where we have Pokemon Let's Go, we can actually play online competitively, and I want to get into that field. So I have plenty of other Gengars, and like I said, the difference between a 0 and a 100% IV in Pokemon Go makes very little difference now, okay? So with that said, trainers, I'd like to say thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you all next time.